it works, right? So in a sprint planning, when you start off the sprint planning, a particular story is picked up, and right, and then a particular story is picked up, and the product owner explains the user story, the details of the features, and what is required, and how it should work. And everybody in the team will there will be a brainstorming session where everybody understands the story and asks their queries to ensure there's a clarity of the understanding. And then whether it's a developer or a lead or a senior or anybody, even a scrum master or product owner, everybody will uh, uh, put up their efforts. So once everybody understands, example, a QA may look at the same story from his testing point of view. The QA might feel the story is complex because the impact is more. But for a developer, it might be a small change. But for a QA, he needs to revalidate the complete module. So the complexity of the story varies depending on who is looking at it and which role person from which role is looking at it. So instead of uh, leaning towards a developer effort or a QA effort, planning poker helps everybody to give their effort and then agree on a particular effort. So as you see here now, once product owner explains the story and everybody understands all the scenarios and there's a clarity, that's when everybody will give their effort. Now efforts are not initially visible. We use either when you're face to face, we use a card. Everybody will have cards ranging for Fibonacci series ranging from 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and everybody show up the cards immediate together. So example, everybody says yes, my efforts are done. Then everybody show the number, and then and then look at and then brainstorm to get the consensus on the number. If it's a remote, there's a lot of tools that can be used for a remote planning poker, wherein everybody will key in their effort estimate and they're visible to everybody over the tool. So in this scenario, right now, when the assuming the user story is discussed and everybody is clear, and once the developer and everybody gives their effort, all the efforts are then together displayed. And then now if you see in this example, right now there is not much consensus where the developer says it's a comparatively medium complex, but a scrum master or tech lead says it is a bit more complex than what developer thinks, but maybe a senior developer thinks it's completely complex and everything. So when something like this is displayed, that's when the extreme effort estimations are given a chance to explain why in this scenario why a senior developer thinks it is so complex that he has to give a 21. So as long as everybody agrees, if the validation and justification of 21 is valid and everybody agrees, then others can change their effort. And if there's a maybe the validations are not, the justifications are not very valid and there's a workaround, then that is discussed out. And finally, as a team, a number is agreed. Either it's an average of this number, or maybe somebody who's 13 might say yes, I also agree with 21, or maybe senior developer might say that yes, 13 makes sense because I understand now it's not so complex. So that's the session. And finally, at the end of this session for every story, a number is agreed, and that is a story point that is assigned to that story, that particular user story. So this is repeated for every user story, and during the sprint planning, and even sometimes in sprint grooming, so that every user story has a story point which can be used while planning for a number of stories to be picked up for a sprint. Okay.